Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for real producers, by real producers, and with none other than Tampa Bay's real producers, as well as powered by Top Producers Nation, which is where you can go if you're a real estate agent who wants to be able to grow your business and become a top producer in your desired market. You can check it out at topproducersnation.com. There includes courses there, coaching programs, other forms of support, lead gen, as well as just an online portal for top agents to be able to share resources. Again, you can see all that at topproducersnation.com. So today we have a special guest, Miss Ali Schaaff.
Yes, correct.
Ali. I nailed it. Yes.
Yes.
Ali, it's good to have you here. How are you today?
Good. Thank you, Don, for
no doubt.
having me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. We actually, Ali and I off camera just had a chance to meet because she was recently interviewed for the Tampa Bay Real Producers magazine. You're going to be seeing Ali in the November issue very shortly. So that's coming out within a couple of weeks here. So It's going to be exciting to learn more as you read her article shortly. I'm sure we'll dive into some of the stuff that you'd read about in the magazine right now, but it's good to have you here on the show for the first time. And so why don't we start a little bit with your background for people who might not know a ton yet about your story. Did you grow up in Tampa Bay? If not, how you got here, and eventually, of course, how you got interested in real estate.
Okay, sure. So I did not grow up here. I actually grew up in Overland Park, Kansas, which is a suburb of Kansas City. So I'm a big...
One of those nice Midwestern girls.
Yes,
huh? Okay.
And a big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Hopefully there's
Lots
more
to be proud
out there.
over the last few years, huh?
Yes. My friends aren't happy about it, but I am. So I went to college at Kansas State University, and I graduated with graphic design and painting degree.
Okay.
And I always had a dream of working for Hallmark Cards. Their headquarters is in Kansas City. So
Hallmark Cards, huh?
Yes.
Did you just read a lot of them, or just because their location was there, you were like, oh, that's just a perfect fit?
Well, actually, when I was in college, I liked the fine arts. I did a lot of painting, like I said, and I mean, when you're living in Kansas City, you know a lot about the cards there and then the movies. But I just decided, like, when I got out,
what woman doesn't love the Hallmark Channel? I mean, come on.
I know, and Christmas Hallmark movies are right around the corner,
They
and
are
I'm
coming up
addicted
soon.
to them.
Yes, I'm sure.
They're
I'm sure.
cheesy, you know, everything that's going to happen, but I love those. So I'm ready for it. But I sent my portfolio into them, and I remember, this is going to date me a little bit, but back before you had cell phones, and I went to go visit my sister who was living in Denver, Colorado, and I came back, and on my, what are they, not voicemail, what were they called back then?
Pagers? Beepers back then?
Not beepers, like... The phone messaging thing.
Oh, yeah, the answering machine.
The answering machine, there you go.
Yeah.
So it was Hallmark
I'm old enough
cards.
to remember answering machine
like,
days.
That really dates me, but that's okay.
Listen, if answering machine make us old, I'll accept it. No big deal.
So it was them, and I got the interview, and that was my first job out of college,
Nice.
And I
So
loved
you accomplished your dream right away.
Yeah, it was wonderful. There were artists from all over the U.S., very creative staff there. You did a lot of collaborating with art directors and other artists, and it was just my dream job. And I had been there for, I think, over 20 years. So
nice.
Yeah.
Wow, so it wasn't just an overnight thing. You were there for a while.
No, yeah.
Wow.
It was wonderful.
And so then how did real estate come into the equation?
So when I grew up, my grandparents were always in Fort Myers. So in the summers and winters, we'd come visit them.
Okay.
And then when I went to Kansas State, my parents had moved to Fort Myers. They were like, okay, all the kids are gone, so we're out of here. And
they were waiting for that day, huh?
Yeah, they were done with the snow and cold weather, so they moved out to Fort Myers.
Okay.
And then about 13 years ago, I had a chance to move into this area. And
Was that with Hallmark?
No, but they actually were going to keep me as a freelance designer for the cards.
Okay.
So I was ready to move and move to warmer weather. I didn't have children, so there was nothing really keeping me back in Kansas. And I moved here and moved into Safety Harbor.
Okay.
And I did freelance, and then over time I started kind of like feeling like I was missing out on something. And kind of to go back a little bit, 2 years out of college, I bought my first house. So it was like an exciting experience for me. I loved the whole thing. My realtor was just amazing to work with. And so I don't know, I kind of got drawn into that.
It's funny because I hear that story a lot, but with the angle of my realtor was horrible. And so I felt like there had to be a better way for me to get into the business. And it's actually the driver for a lot of people I've interviewed to get into real estate is a bad experience with an agent. So it sounds like you had the opposite. Huh?
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
it was, and for a first time home buyer, you know, I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, you know, there's a lot of work into that because you have to advise them throughout the whole process.
Sure.
And so he was there, treated me like gold, and got my little, you know, house, and he wouldn't have treated anyone different from, you know, what price point they're at. So I really enjoyed that experience. And then move ahead when I came here and worked freelance for Hallmark. I kind of felt like I was missing out because I was always behind the computer, not really talking with people, and I'm a very social person. So I had bought a house then, and then over time, bought another house, sold that, bought another one that was more of a flip. And I really, really got excited about that whole process.
Nice.
And that's when I thought, okay, I think I need to make a change. And you know, I had a
So
nice
there's just
career.
something about the real estate bug that bit you, huh?
Yeah. And actually, both transactions, the one in Kansas and the one here in Florida, the agents were awesome to work with. So they kind of, I feel like, motivated me in some way.
And so what year was it that you got licensed? I think you said 2015. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So May it'll be 10 years.
And now, were you already, did you step away from Hallmark at that time right away, or were you trying to balance both for a little while?
I balance both because, as you know, it takes a while to get started in real estate. And I wanted to make sure I had money for food and house. So I kept freelance, but I would do it at night. And as long as I hit the deadlines, I was fine. And then during the day, I was out hustling and trying to get my real estate career.
That's cool. That's
moving.
good to know that you had that security, though, too. So that gives you a little bit of that peace of mind, I would imagine.
Yes.
And then you're out all day trying to build your business, right?
Right. And timing worked out great.
In your heart, when you decided to go down that path of real estate, like, was your intent that you wanted to do it full time, and once you knew that you had that traction and that income coming in, you were planning on leaving Hallmark the whole time?
Yeah, I think so. But at the beginning, you know, it is a little stressful, you know, because when I started, everyone knew me as the Hallmark designer. So they would always want to ask me questions about designing cards, and they never really saw me as Ali the realtor. So I was a little worried about that. But then as I started building my business, at that point, I did know once I felt comfortable and had enough money coming in, I was going to do it full time.
So how did that evolution take place? Were you just working off of your network at first? Is that how you got your first couple of listings or homes if you were focused on the buyer side? What was that first year like for you in terms of getting some traction?
So I didn't realize how hard it is to get into real estate, and especially being an individual agent. So I decided one day I was going to go to a Brian Buffini convention or mastermind. And that's basically what really got me changed into the way I was doing business. Because before I was kind of out there just telling people, I got into this. You
didn't have a team or anything you were a part of, right?
No.
You were trying to figure it out on your own?
Right, and it gets a little tricky. So I fell in love with his principles. I signed up for his coaching, and they really make you dive into working with your network and building it that way by referrals only. Because I knew I'm not really a salesy person. I'm not going to be calling random people on the phone and telling them, you know, I'm here to list your house. So this was more natural for me, and so that's what helped me get moving. And then all of a sudden I started seeing over time, it works out this way.
Yeah. Has that been your experience? Has the business just kind of grown every year, or has it been a little bit more volatile than that?
It's grown every year.
Nice.
Yeah. So especially the last 2 years were my strongest. Last year I made the platinum with Remax.
Yeah,
So that
congrats.
was a big.
Yeah, we didn't mention it earlier, but Ali is with Remax Action First. I think we said off camera that did over 35 or so transactions last year, over $13 million in volume, which I think represented your best year or pretty close to it.
Yes.
So to be in the top 500 agents in all of Tampa Bay out of 17,000, that's basically like an agent would have had to do around 12 million or more. So, I mean, you were right in that top 500 list, which is obviously how we got connected with you doing this feature that we are. So I think it's powerful to kind of like help agents see the evolution, right, of a business, because a lot of times people maybe don't have the patience to see that through, right, to get to the success that you're at now, because you didn't do 13 million in your first year.
No,
right?
No. I mean, I was struggling. I was really struggling.
And so again, it was helpful, I would imagine, that you had the other job too, to be able to make sure you had income coming in.
Yes.
But if you think back at that now, like, is there anything that powerful lessons that you feel like you learned in those earlier years that you would have done differently, that maybe would have moved things a little bit faster for you? Or do you feel like everything just kind of went the way that you'd want it to go?
I think if I came in with a little more confidence, that would have helped a lot. I did read a lot of books throughout the time trying to build that up. I mean, coming from a job where I'm behind the computer and not really selling, it's a huge change. But as soon as I started looking at it as I'm not selling, I'm actually there to advise and help and market, it helped me move. So maybe if I would have gone in through that mindset from the beginning,
view yourself as a consultant more than just than a salesperson. Not that you were viewing yourself that way, but yeah, I think that's how most of these top producers, I think, do view themselves, as operating on a consulting mindset, right?
Right.
That makes sense. And so as your business still to this day been basically 100% organic and referral gen, has that kind of been the sole focus? Or have you, I know you mentioned earlier, you've had some traction with client appreciation parties. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, and most of them have been referrals. Of course, you'll get some through like the just listed solds, or if someone sees that you've sold a house in the neighborhood. But the client appreciation parties this year coming up, I think, is my 8th one that I've done. So that's another thing Brian Buffini teaches. You have to treat your clients, like gold, like they're the ones bringing your business. So I want to show them my appreciation. The first year I did it, I had provided food and drinks, and I said, all I need for you to do is bring a bag of dog food or cat food or blankets, and it was going to the Humane Society of Pinellas County. So I did that for the first 5 years. And then the last couple years that I did it, I started getting more involved with Dogs Inc., which is Southeastern Guide Dogs.
Okay.
So again,
yeah, we've actually featured them before.
Oh my gosh, they're wonderful.
We have a Making a Difference section of our magazine that's designed to help spotlight certain charities, and that's been one of them that we've done a feature on.
Oh, they are amazing. I actually went to the facility and did a tour there.
Nice.
So I would just have people, when I switched over, because they have their own dog food that they're using for those dogs, I said, bring a donation. And then again, I provide the food and drinks. And then lately I've been getting local musicians from Safety Harbor that come in and play music.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you say it's once a year that you do it?
Yes, once a year.
Very cool.
And I think 2 years ago we had like $600 or something donated. And then this past year is over $2,000 that we donated to them. Yeah.
And so have you found this to be kind of a way that has helped generate ongoing business from existing clients? Has that been, from a business sense, the biggest beneficiary of doing these parties, or is there something else that you think is even more important?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely important, but my main thing is to show the appreciation. I mean, they're trusting me, they're referring, and referrals is the biggest compliment, right? Yep. Because it shows that they trust in what you're doing, they like the way you run your business. So it's a big, huge, true appreciation for what they've done for my business.
Totally.
I do get repeat customers out of their clients, and then more referrals through there, I think, because they noticed that I'm not just there for the transaction
Yep.
of the business. I'm there throughout the whole process, and then beyond. We end up becoming friends, and then we have parties or
Yeah.
happy hours, and it's more than just the business.
And so the way it works is every client you've ever worked with, whether it was on the buyer side or listing side, is invited. Is that how you structure it?
Yes.
Okay.
And then also people who have referred to me that may not have been my client, but have referred business to
So your
me.
personal network that has helped you get business before.
Yes.
I love that. And so have you seen the number of people grow pretty much every year as well in terms of how big the parties get?
Yeah. So this past one, I think we had a little over 100 people come.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, and it's amazing to me how that more agents don't do that. It seems like it's not that it's an easy thing to do, because I'm sure throwing the party is definitely involved, right? Coming from somebody who does over 40 events a year with with real producers, there's a lot involved, right? In a lot of these event structures, and I get that. But still, it'd be I think a smart way for any agent to want to give back and to their clients and show that appreciation, like you just said. But it also is a smart business move. I have to imagine it also has helped grow your brand and your business as a result.
Yes. And, people now start looking forward to it. The first year I did it, they're like, well, what's this for? And I kind of had to explain, thank you for supporting me, and I appreciate your business.
Yeah.
And then now as the years have gone on, they're like, oh, when's your party coming up? And, I've always been told, party your way to the top, which is like my kind of mindset, because I enjoy having a good time and bringing joy to other people. So that's
Totally
kind of my mindset.
Yeah, no, I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's a fun way to kind of operate the business. Has there been any other strategies that have also come alongside of your business now to help you accelerate growth, or has that been the focus?
That's one of the focus. I know during COVID, Safety Harbor is a small community, and we're all really, really tight. There's about 17,000 people that live there. So during COVID, I saw a bunch of the businesses struggling to get people in the doors, and I'm like, there's got to be a way I can help the community. So I had started a little show on my Facebook. It was Safety Harbor on a Golf Charge. So it's a golf cart community, and basically I would drive to all the businesses and tell them, the places you can go on a golf charge, and talk about the businesses, interview the owners, and talk about any specials that they may be having. And yeah, so that was helpful. It got my name out more in the community, and
I love that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Do you have like a YouTube channel or anything where those videos go to, or is it all on Facebook?
It was on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so, do you find that the majority of your business now, Ali, comes in the Safety Harbor area? Is that kind of the niche that you've really done, that you feel like you've served the most, or is it very spread out?
I would say maybe majority of it is in Safety Harbor. I do a lot of North Pinellas, but it's interesting because, I've worked with some clients that start in one area, and I've gone all the way to Orlando, not very often, but then as far up as Homosassa and as far down as Anna Maria.
Okay.
But again, majority,
Safety Harbor based.
North Pinellas County.
Is that something that you feel like you adopted due to coaching, or do you think it's important for any agent to kind of identify a community or a niche or a neighborhood that you really want to kind of get known in? Is that a strategy that you think is pretty critical?
Yeah, because I know so much about Safety Harbor. I know all the neighborhoods. I'm actually on the planning and zoning board there. I try to really focus in on what is going on. Yeah. And so it's important for realtors to have that knowledge, like extreme knowledge of the area to help your clients. So for me, I think it's an important part of zoning in on one area, but not to say you're not going to go to other areas or know other areas too, but it's helpful for your clients.
Has this whole NAR settlement bonanza over the last year, has that had any impact at all on your business?
No.
Good.
So I was a little concerned at first, but I feel like most of the sellers understand that if they want to, get some more buyers in, and the buyer's agents are working just as hard as the listing agents. So if you get a pre-approved buyer in and someone solid, they don't have any problems.
Sure.
So
it's all about
luckily,
communication, right?
Yeah. And some of them were a little confused at the beginning, so you just have those conversations with them, and then
they hear some crazy thing on the media, and they're like, "Oh, you don't even need real estate agents anymore."
Right, and I'm like, "Oh, try that."
Yeah, exactly. We kind of have to flush out some misconceptions here a little bit. Is most of your business now on the listing side? Do you still do buyers showings as well? Are you doing both? What does that look like?
I am doing both. I would say most on the listing side now, but I love working both. Buyers are so fun because they're so excited, and listings are great because you can market, and so I enjoy both sides. Just kind of change it up.
Yeah. Is there a particular type of client that you feel like you really serve extremely well, or that you've had a lot of success with historically, or is it just all over the map?
Probably all over the map. Obviously, condos can be a little trickier now in Florida because the HOA fees, and people are more, I don't know what I would say. A
little bit more hesitant.
Yeah, not to say that they're not great properties.
Sure.
They have all these amenities, so that price buyers have to understand it's going towards certain amenities.
Yeah,
but
people a lot of times don't like costs that they can't control.
Right.
So the idea of always having that go up is a little bit of a scary thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say probably I do more single family homes. But any price range, like I said, I enjoy working with them all, so it really doesn't matter to me what price they're at.
Have you found that your background with Hallmark, has that had any role in your ability to be a successful agent, from the design skills that you developed there, or do you do anything as far as your own kind of design work at all on the real estate side, or has there been any carryover?
Yeah, I mean, one big thing, the card industry, so I still love sending out cards.
There you go. That makes sense. the thank you cards, right?
Yes. And it's a big plus because people aren't used to getting those in the mail, and so when they see that, usually they'll call me up and say thank you. So I've always been a card person. I still am. I do. Do you
get like an unlimited supply of Hallmark cards still?
Right? I have a lot. I won't lie. I have a lot.
That makes sense. It's funny. We just had John Israel. I don't know if you know this guy, but we just had him on a panel yesterday. He calls himself the Mr. Thank You Project, which is all about thank you cards.
Yeah.
And so he talked at our panel. We do a monthly educational panel over at Whiskey Cake on the third Thursday of each month. You're more than welcome to come check it out sometime if you ever are available to. It's always during the day, so you have to give up a little bit of hours of work. But we do them always on the third Thursday. And so we had him as a special speaker yesterday, and he told his story about how starting this project where he wrote 5 thank you cards every day for 365 days. So it was a pretty big commitment. And he had like an accountability partner where if he didn't write a thank you card, he had to donate $1,000 to a charity.
Oh, wow.
So he was committed to it, right?
Yes.
It was a pretty big thing. And his story was about like the impact, of course, that had on his business and on his mindset and just the power of gratitude and all of that, right? So it was a pretty cool, I think it was a very timely message for a lot of the challenges that the market's going through with the storms that we just had, over the last couple of weeks, because he talked a lot about the ability to find the gift in all challenging situations as well, in which a lot of people are going through some pretty challenging times right now due to the storm. So anyway, it was a cool thing, but you bringing up the Hallmark cards made me think of it because there was a direct correlation there too,
Yeah, and I mean, people appreciate that, getting that little piece, knowing that you're thought of that day.
Totally.
So
absolutely.
It really does help.
It's a lost art too, isn't it?
Right.
Especially if you take the time to handwrite them. Like, even though my handwriting is chicken scratch and I don't know if anybody can read it, I think there is some meaning sentimentally that just seems to come across when you take the time to handwrite a note to someone.
Yeah, you can do what my dad does, though. He'll type it out. He's a lefty. Probably never should have been a lefty. You can't read his writing at all.
Yeah.
So he will type it out and then tape it into the card. So there you
that's
go.
an interesting way to go about it. Yeah, that could solve some of my chicken scratch problem there, I think, Rob. Yeah.
Cricket.
Or figure out the printing side, I guess. So for people who, again, might not know you as well on the personal side, I want to give a couple thoughts there on just your story, too. So when you're not jamming in real estate, what do you do? What do you do for fun? What keeps you busy?
I love to play tennis, so I'm trying to get more involved with that. I do ultimate tennis. Is
that different than normal tennis?
Well, not really. It's the only way I can
I was
find
about
people
say,
to
ultimate
play.
tennis sounds intense. I don't know exactly what that is, but yes.
So you just play like different games, but it's only way because I'll ask friends. They're like, I don't play tennis, so it's just like a group of people that
I got
you can
you.
do singles or doubles.
You're part of a club?
Well, oh yeah, Countryside Country Club.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
so my boyfriend and I just joined so I can play more tennis.
Shout out to the tennis boyfriend out there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just got to deal with all of that.
Yeah, I played tennis a little bit too, growing up in Connecticut. It's fun. I always, and I've started getting into pickleball a little bit now. More.
Oh no,
You're not a pickleball gal? No. Is that like for people who are really into tennis? Like that's insulting to consider the pickleball arena?
No, I mean I know people
It
that
is kind
play
of
tennis.
cheating in the tennis world, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean they've switched. Some people have switched over, but
Right.
now I like the running and the.
Yeah, there's a little bit more
Yeah.
work involved in tennis
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
But I mean,
the
pickleball.
real rackets. I
You
get
go,
it.
you bring your drinks, right? You got to have fun doing
I haven't done it that way, but it might be a way to do it. Yeah, I have not experienced it on that side, but I've just enjoyed it as a fun little game to play with a couple of the buddies every now and again.
Yeah,
You know?
I'll have to try it sometime. I'll give it a try.
So you're a tennis gal. Anything else that keeps you busy?
Love to travel. So, you bring your computer. You still got to do a little work,
Sure.
but it's a nice way to like just get unplugged. And I think it's
Now you're still an
important.
individual agent, right? You're not running a team at this point.
Right.
Okay, so your business is still completely on you.
Yeah. So it does make it a little tricky when
Sure.
you want to go places,
Yep.
but I've been fine. Like the last place we went was Turks and Caicos, which
Nice.
yeah. And when I like to go on vacations, I want it to be like quiet and relaxing, but you can get stuff done there.
Do you have a favorite place that you visited?
That would probably be my favorite.
Yeah, just the beaches are gorgeous there, right?
Oh my gosh.
Right.
It's like, I mean, we have gorgeous beaches here
Right.
too, but it's, I don't know, trying to find that time here, I don't ever find
Yeah.
because I have excuses to, okay, I need to go work and do this. Well, when you actually set a time to go on a vacation, then you can truly get away.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Even though the beaches are gorgeous here, like you said, if you're still close enough to home, it almost feels like you're still can't completely disconnect, right?
No, right.
Right.
Because then I'll think, oh, I got to go do this. I got to call this person. I got to go check on this house.
Right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
But when you're thousands of miles away, that's not even an option.
No. Sorry.
I'm here to completely unwind, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yes.
All right, couple rapid fire questions for you, Allie. Ready?
Oh, boy. Okay.
Do you have a favorite book or author, seminar that you've ever attended that you feel like has made a huge impact on you personally or professionally?
Yes. Power of Positive Thinking. That's a huge one.
It's an old school one, right? Is that Norman Vincent Peale?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
My dad
probably-
gave me that book many, many years ago.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've probably read it like 5 times. I think it's important, especially you're working and you have all these obstacles that come up, but as long as you're staying positive, I feel like you can get through those
Sure.
obstacles.
Our mindset is pretty much everything in terms
Right.
of how we react to all kinds of situations, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I don't think anyone else has brought that up on the show so far. So, I mean, and that's like an old school, that's an OG one right
And
there.
I'm not that old, but
No, well, I mean,
Well,
listen, I
maybe.
love reading old books that were written in the 1920s and other things.
Yeah.
Like if you could find one that has that knowledge from it, which that does, so that's cool. Do you have a favorite movie?
I'm not really a big movie person, so no.
Nothing. All right, no
I'm
TV
like
show.
trying to think of
No
what
movie or
comes-
TV show that comes to
Oh
mind.
gosh, I watch Dateline every night. That's like a guilty pleasure. I don't know if I should admit to that, but yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you could throw it out there. We're gonna not edit it out, so it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Thanks.
I like it. I like it. All right, and so how about a favorite food?
Favorite food would probably be pizza.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nice and simple.
pizza,
So if a
yeah.
client wants to get on your good side, that's the way to do it, huh?
Pizza and
a little-
wine.
There-
I mean,
Your
wine's
boyfriend
not a
must
food.
love that. That's a fairly cheap date. That works. That works well. Yeah, depending, I guess, on the wine. You're true about that.
I'm picky
yeah.
about wine, so it's not always cheap.
You're a bit of a wine connoisseur, are you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So I went to Italy too, and
Nice.
oh my gosh, the
I've
wine
been there 2 years ago. They serve it like water, though. It's like table wine, basically,
Yeah.
right? Every time, I remember our meals were like 5-hour events every time that you'd sit down at a restaurant. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think they told us you have 1 cup of coffee in the morning because
Mm-hmm.
they're like, don't be American and get these big, huge things of coffee.
Yeah.
And then they said you either switch to water or wine. And I'm like, I think I could live here.
That is true. That's the culture. And then they still take the siestas every day too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It works out well.
Who wouldn't love that?
Yeah, exactly. All right. I have what I'm going to call our legacy question for you. Ready? So when that day does come, right, when you're sitting on that rocking chair, hopefully many, 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 many years from now, and you're looking back on what you think you want to be most remembered for, what you'd want your legacy to be, what do you think that would be? What would be most important to you?
Probably someone who's a truly good friend, a listener, someone who's giving and caring and just overall a good, genuine person. I think in the end, your money doesn't go with you. That really has no say in you at the end.
No eternal value. Yeah.
No. So it's just to treat people with kindness and help out any way you can.
Very aligned with someone who throws client appreciation parties every year, right?
Yeah.
I can see the alignment there. So that's cool. All right, we're gonna put a bow on the episode, and I told you it would be painless, right? This went quick.
It was painless,
and you did great. You did really well. So. For people who might want to pick your brain, I think what's cool about your story is that you have seen consistent growth year upon year, and you've done it really what some would call the slow moving way, right? Completely organically, 100% referral generated, using some coaching, which I think is a smart tip that you shared. I love the client appreciation ideas that you brought up. So if an agent possibly is kind of newer in the business potentially and sees your path and says, all right, so there is hope, right, to get to the next level. Maybe I should start to implement an idea or two that Ali shared. What's the best way for someone maybe to reach out to you if they wanted to pick your brain?
All right. So I would be happy to answer any questions and have conversations, meet up for coffee. You can feel free to call me at 727-463-3347. And I also have a Facebook business page. It's Ali Schaaff Realtor. So you can look me up on Facebook as well, and I'd be happy to help you guys.
And Schaaff is 2 A's and 2 F's.
Yes.
Right? Let's get it right, people. 2 A's.
German name.
Are you 100% German?
No, my mom was Irish.
Okay.
So.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm actually German. I'm 50-50 English and German, so I got some mutt in me too.
Yeah. I think we all do.
Yeah, I guess so. Most people anyway. So, no idea what you just said. We're going to end our episode with a challenge the way we always do, which is to a call to action for anybody who is listening live through YouTube or any of our other platforms, or if you're listening on any of your favorite podcasts, podcast platforms. There's about 20 or so out there. And by the way, if you don't already subscribe to our podcast, just click the button below. That way you'll be notified every time a new episode drops, which is weekly. We drop episodes every Friday. And so what is one action step that you can take from this conversation with Ali today that'll help propel you forward personally or professionally? Maybe it's the client appreciation party idea. To me, again, I feel like it's kind of crazy how many agents don't do that when it would be such an easy way to implement something that would be fun in your business that I think would add a lot of value to just the way you feel about your business. And so the client appreciation party might be that tip, or maybe it's the Power of Positive Thinking book that Ali threw out there that you need to pick up. Or maybe it's just her story of inspiration that you might want to pick her brain about, so that if you're struggling in those early years, realize there is a path to be successful. You just got to stay consistent. Or maybe you just need some Hallmark card ideas, and Ali can help you with that as well. But what is it for you? Pick one action step that's going to help you. That way, the time that you invested in listening to this show is going to make it worth it, which is really the goal of why we do these in the first place. We want to help you create action in your business and help you become a top producer in whatever market you desire to be. And you can learn more about that. Hey, real estate out the details of our program and how we can help you get there. So thanks again to Ali for being here today, and we'll see you on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. Hey, real estate agent, stop scrolling and listen to this if you want to be able to grow your business. Are you struggling to grow your business right now and just hoping that you're going to become a top producer one day? Well, let us help you become a top producer today and make this the day that you do something about it. We have a couple different programs to help you become a top producer in your specific market. And what we call them are the 3 C's with a 4th C as another option for you. Let me help you identify the 3 C's. Number 1 is what we call our community platform. We have a community platform that allows you to be in a community with other top producers, people that you know are producing at top levels in different markets all over the country, sharing best resources, sharing ideas, and of course, as you know, proximity is power. So if you want to be a top producer, it starts with being in a community that allows you to learn from other top producers. The second C in that mix is our course. We have an online course built into our community, which has 82 lessons on it, all designed to help you become a top producer. Different strategies on lead flow generation, from optimizing your Google My Business, your Google LSA campaigns, how to build out VSLs, funnels, ways to be able to differentiate yourself and help you identify what we would call your USP, which is your unique selling proposition. This is all in this course to help you build it out. You can do it on your own time. There's no rush. You can take your time to do it. Or if you want, you can take advantage of our program, which is a done-for-you service to help you execute and implement everything in the course through our trained creative marketing assistants who are there to help you, hold your hand, and get things done to the next level. The third C is our coaching opportunities. We have a weekly coaching call run by myself and other top producers in the nation, where I literally just moderate and interview and let these top producers teach their best practices, their secret sauce, so to speak. And you get to just ask them questions, Q&A. All different brokerages are represented. We're not pigeonholed to any one specific brokerage, so you're not just learning from one type of strategy, right? You get to hear from literally the best of the best in different brokerages all over the country, and we do those every single week as part of our coaching program. We also have the opportunity for individual coaching, one-on-one coaching opportunities where you can get assigned to somebody who is a top producer, be able to have weekly or bi-weekly one-on-one calls with those top producers to help you grow your business. And then the 4th C, which is an optional add-on for a lot of our packages, is basically the automated CRM. I hesitate to use the word CRM because really it's more of a business automation platform than it is just a traditional CRM. But I'm talking about a platform that will build out websites for you, will build out all your sales funnels, can manage every lead. You can upload your entire database into that. There's built-in AI automation to allow you to communicate so that somebody's working for you and it's not just you all the time having to manually communicate to all your leads. There's ways in there to build out lead flow campaigns to help you with open houses, geofencing strategies that are in there, and much, much more. When I'm telling you that's just the tip of the iceberg with this automation platform, I could talk about it for 20 minutes and it wouldn't do it justice. So ultimately, that's another option that we have for somebody who definitely feels like you need to up your game. On the organizational side, on the software side, we have some of that to help you as well. So that's our program in a nutshell. Let's talk about it a little bit more. All you got to do is click the link below, and you can either book a call, a discovery call with me or someone on my team to be able to dive in a little deeper to your situation, figure out your vision, figure out your goals, more importantly, figure out where you are and where you want to be, and we can help you identify how we can help you get there in this discovery call. Or you could just join the community as well by clicking the link below and get access to a lot of the things that I just talked about by just clicking the link below and getting started. So don't hesitate. Don't wait for another ad. Don't keep scrolling. Click the link and let's get started. I can't wait to help you in your journey of becoming a top producer. We'll see you there.